I just love trading metals. I don't know why, it just feels right, I guess. So, is silver going to fall off the cliff? Kind of looks like it to me. Hang around and I'll show you what I mean. Hi, this is Tim from TradingStrategyGuides.com. As of today, my home state of Texas is no longer under a shelter-at-home order. I mean, I don't have anywhere to go, but it's nice to know I could go there if I wanted to, right? Let me know in the comments where you are and if your local area is still under lockdown. Today's trade pick is a descending triangle on the precious metal silver. I'll show it to you in a few minutes, but first we're going to look at the active trades. And later on, another one of my favorite trading maxims. It's Friday, guys. Let's do this. Remember to click that subscribe button and hit that bell so you don't miss any of these great trade setups. Let's take a look at the active ones. This is the Palladium setup from last week. Still waiting for it to hit the first target right there. McDonald's setup triggered on Tuesday of this week right here. As of yesterday, it moved about half the distance to our target of 178.10, stop loss 197.68. It is a half size position because the volume was only 75.7% on the day it triggered. So this was annoying. The NASDAQ 100 futures triggered on Tuesday, right here, on a close below the bear flag on just slightly above average volume. I sold it, then it closed back inside the bear flag on Wednesday, so I took the loss. However, since the volume and volatility are continuing to decline right here, then I redrew this bear flag, and now it looks like this. This is the old bear flag in pink right here. The new bear flag is the one in blue. What I've done is moved it down below the candles that had dropped below the original bear flag. It looks like it could trigger today, so watch this. Trade management hasn't changed. I'll link the original setup below, but basically we're looking for a close below the new bear flag right here. The US dollar Mexican peso closed back inside the triangle right here, so I closed it for a small loss. I'll review this over the weekend and I may redraw this triangle. I'll let you know about it in Monday's video. Here's the Litecoin Bitcoin chart we looked at on Monday. I had sold this on the close below the range right here. It closed back in the range. I took my loss, and I mentioned the other day that I was going to keep an eye on this thing. I tried to find a way to get back in this and just couldn't justify anything. So this is going to go on down here without us, sadly. This happens sometimes. It doesn't mean you've done anything wrong as a trader. The market does what the market does. We've been watching this Bitcoin setup for a while. This is a weekly setup, so we're looking for a Friday close above the bull flag for a buy trigger. Doesn't look too promising for this week, but still watching it. Okay, let's take a look at the silver chart. Here's a daily chart of silver, XAG-USD. This is a descending triangle consisting of a strong support level that's been tested a few times here at 1476.80 with a series of lower highs creating a downtrend. It's also got a nice decline in volume and volatility. I use the average true range or ATR to measure the volatility, which shows the average length of the last 14 candles. I will only take a sell signal on a descending triangle pattern. And here's the trade plan. We're going to sell a daily close below the triangle or below 1476.80. On the breaking candle, to enter a full-size position, we want to see this volume bar reach up here to this volume average. If it doesn't quite reach the average but does reach 75% of the average volume, I'll open a half-size position to reduce risk. You can calculate the percentage by dividing this volume number by this volume average, and you should get at least 0.75. If you don't get at least 0.75, stand aside on the trade. The stop loss will be 1.5 times the ATR, and the first target will be 1 times the ATR. So let's say this candle closes down here. We sell right there on the close or just ahead of the close. On that day, we look down here at the ATR. We multiply that number by 1.5, and we measure that distance above the entry for our stop loss, and we measure 1 ATR below the entry for our first target. If after we enter this trade, we get a candle close back inside the triangle, we'll take the loss right then and not wait for it to hit the stop loss. Our intention is that a breakout below the triangle should be explosive and hit our target fairly quickly. If the momentum goes away, we want to shut the trade down without taking a full stop if possible. When the price hits our first target, we'll close half the position for profit and set the stop loss to break even on the remainder. We will then follow stops as price moves in our direction until the market takes us out. These two rules are the very definition of cutting your losses and letting your winners run. Typically, I do this using two positions. The first position has a stop loss and a take profit, and that position will close automatically when the first target is hit. The second position will only have a stop loss, and that's the position that will be allowed to run. When the first target is hit, we will have to manually move our stop loss up to break even on the second position. I will only risk about 2% of my account on each trade. And that's today's setup on silver. Remember, my intent here is to tell you how I manage these trades. If you've already got a good trade management plan, use it. Things that work for me may not work for you. You have to understand your own mind to find the best strategies for your trading. And speaking of understanding your own mind, that's my intent for the trading maxims. The maxims help me control my emotional impulses and keep me on the straight and narrow path. A maxim is a general truth, fundamental principle, rule of conduct, or a proverbial saying. The purpose of my maxims is to motivate me to discipline in trading as well as other areas of my life. I suggest you start your own list of maxims, things that you can say to yourself while you're trading or doing life to make sure you always do the right thing. Feel free to borrow from my list. And today, another trip back in time for one of my favorite maxims of the day. Tim's trading maxim number 10. Don't worry if you left money on the table. It's not worth the ulcers. Any of you familiar with the aphorism, don't cry over spilled milk? Most of us are. Yeah, this is the same thing. What's done is done, and it can't be undone, so move on. Worrying about this will just make it more difficult to make trading decisions in the future. Follow your rule set. You do have rules, right? Your rules should cover every possible action the market could take. That way you don't have to think while you're in the middle of the battle. You just have to follow your training. It's very calming and stress relieving to know that you followed your rules, no matter what the market did. If you think you need to make a rule change, that's okay. Just make it when you're not in the middle of the trade. Be sure it's well thought out and well tested before you make it. Then make it with confidence. But in the midst of the trade, stick to the rules. Remember our silver trade plan here. We're going to sell a daily candle close below the triangle or below 1476.80. If the volume is not quite average, go half size as long as it's at least 75% of the average. Your stop loss is 1.5 times the daily ATR, and your first target is 1 times the ATR. And remember to click the link below to the trade management video for more details. And don't forget to sign up for my free Trading Picks email list to be sure you don't miss any of these great picks. I send out about 2 or 3 trading picks a week from all different markets, and you'll get to see them first. Best thing about it, it's free. I'll put the link below this video. Be sure to come back to Trading Strategy Guide's YouTube channel every week on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time for my new videos. Don't hesitate to ask any questions you may have. I'll either answer your question right in the comments or in a training video, or both. And remember, the only stupid question is the unasked one. Don't miss the next installment of the Trading Education series this Wednesday. As always, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up below. And the weekend is here. Have a great one. See you Monday.